my colleague just said. How is that a good excuse, right? An MP's family was targeted, and only recently, after 2 years, did he just find out. That's not a good excuse. So either he was willfully ignorant, or he intentionally decided not to hear it, or he was incompetent. Those aren't good rationales to try to explain this away, and I would encourage my colleague to please drop that talking point.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for Brandon Souris. Souris Moose Mountain. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for his speech and recognizing his history and understanding he in his role in the military and understanding the processes that happened. But if we were to assume that the Prime Minister was actually just knew about these things a week ago, what does that say about the system that's been set up for the Prime Minister to even know that information? As the honourable member knows, as he's followed through the ranking process and information is being shared, there's a process in place, and I would like to hear from him in his comments on what he thinks, if this is the case, what sort of denigrated structure is set.
Member for Spadina, Fort York.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank my colleague for, I think, raising a really good point. If indeed the Prime Minister only just found out, clearly the system is not working. Clearly the information that is being assessed is not being then passed on to the people that need to know. I think any time that an MP, that a member of this House and their family is being targeted in any way, they must be informed. So I hope truly that when this government comes out and says we are going to change that, that they actually will. Because for more than just 2 years, but during the duration of this government, they've come out and made some really great promises that sound really great, that make exceptionally awesome headlines, but there's no follow-through, there's no implementation, and the execution continues to be lacking.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for Windsor West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we're dealing with China in general, I wonder what the members' thoughts are with regards to the overall policy. I remember this first being raised when I got here with China Mid-Metals. The government of the day under Paul Martin was selling our shares of Petro-Canada, and China Mid-Metals was being bought, or buying up Canadian natural resources. I always thought it was odd that it wasn't okay for Canadians to own our own gas, but it was okay for the Chinese to. Then later on, we saw even policies under the Harper administration when we had the largest delegations that went to China for investment opportunities. And there's been a series of different things that have come out of that. And that was actually to strengthen and grow some of our universities and our cooperative programs that are now being questioned by a lot of different individuals. So I'm just curious as to whether we need to do something different in terms of how we approach this entire issue. And I would just finally conclude this, Madam Speaker. It's also non-democratic governments, so I think it's larger than just China. That's the context of what we've been raising at non-democratic governments.
The honourable member for Spadina, Fort York.
I thank my colleague for his question, and I agree that whether it's academic partnerships, research and development, corporate investments, and so on, I think all of those have to be examined with a critical eye. And it's not just Chinese Communist Party, but frankly, the influence and potentially interventions and other nefarious approaches that are being used and deployed by many other regimes, including the IRGC is one that comes to mind. I think it is vitally important that while we start with directly attacking this issue right now of Chinese Communist Party interference, that we also keep in mind the full scope that it extends beyond that.